Yo, what's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I hope everybody is having a good day out there as we're here, locked and loaded, to break down the latest news and rumors that surround this football team. Joe Schoen has gone out and signed a veteran edge rusher that I believe, with maybe a little bit more of a workload, could become a rotational piece for this team. We also got to react to Mel Kyper and Daniel Jeremiah's latest mock draft. They both had the same player going to the New York Giants, number 3 overall. We also have to talk about the rumors out there that the New York Giants trading the number 1 overall pick is potentially dead. And we also got some updates on Aaron Rodgers and where he sits in his decision. Shout out to all of y'all in the building. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up icon and give me a real one down in the comments section. We are out of the gates and ready to go. Didn't get a push notification for this live, so I need all of your help. If you could, please hit that thumbs up icon and give me a real one down below. Let YouTube know we're live. Let all the real ones find the stream today. Please, please, please give me a real one down below. We'll give you a shout out if you do. Young the Hot Boy is in the building. Mr. Rick, what's going on, Mr. Cha? Big Jack hanging out. What's up? Sam Jackson the third. Yes, sir. M.80. Marco D. Natali. What's going on? Thunder, thunder. Jennifer Tingle, John, David, Scott, Ed, Corinne. What up, CTM? The Natural Code. Positive Jordan. John Guerrera. Good Moan. Anthony, what's happening? Eric Cruz. Ryan Wilkins. What up, Royal Ron? The Natural Code. Frat Guy 1906. What's happening, my friend? Serious Wasp. Christopher Wilson. Liam Coldwell. Javon Holland in the building. What's up, Javon? Come on the show. What's happening? Pickle, Nickel, Tickle as well, rocking with us. Shout out to all of y'all. Got to make sure I'm super careful with all of those. I kick knowledge. What's happening? ETC. What up? Horn Construction. Slim Jewish. What up? Jennifer Tingle showing love in the chat. Austin Pennington. What's happening? Shout out to all of y'all. If you haven't yet, please hit that thumbs up icon. YouTube decided to not let the people know that we are live for some reason. We've just been doing too much content on this channel. You only get 3 push notifications a day, and we've already used up all of those trying to get you guys our content. So please, please, please hit that thumbs up icon. And if you have liked the video, drop me down below so I know what the real ones are. With 172 people watching and only 59 likes, we got to get those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. Come on, hit the thumbs up icon. Let's go. Peter says I had to refresh. Gotta stay refreshed. What up? Anthony hanging out. NYG fan for life liked the video. G-Men says, Marsh, I need some Rodgers hope. I didn't get the best Aaron Rodgers update today. Eric Cruz, what's happening? Ed Pembroke says, love your show. You're my go-to for anything Giants. You know what? I appreciate that. Thank you for giving us a chance. Mr. Rick says, bet the ranch on St. John's. Miss Cha alumni, class of 87, says they win it all. Are the Johnnies going to do it? That'd be the first championship that MSG has produced in a while. M.80 says, come on, YouTube. Yeah, YouTube trying to shadow ban us here on Giants Now. People are starting to trickle in. Up to 213 people watching. If you could, please hit that thumbs up icon. We're 13 likes away from 200. We should be at 50%. 50% of the viewers should have liked the video. With 212 people watching, only 88 likes. That makes me want to turn off this stream. We weren't supposed to go live today, but I thought a lot of people would be ready to go. I thought y'all would be ready to rock and roll, so we decided to go live. Joe says trade the farm. Ricky says, how about Janty? Who the hell is Janty? Genty? Yeah, no. No Ashton Genty at pick number 3. Corinne says, please share the live. Yes, let's go. Please share the stream. Everyone let everyone know we are live. Please do that. Hit that thumbs up icon and lock us in. What's the news on Aaron Rodgers? We're going to get into that in a second. If you had your notifications turned on, you would have already seen I put a video out on it, and you wouldn't have to ask that question. So change it. Hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so we don't miss a thing. Austin says, real ones stay updated even with the YouTube trying to shadow us. 100%. Jon says take Russell Wilson at this point. Why? Think about it like this, okay? You've asked the hottest girl in the school to prom. And the hottest girl that you've wanted for the better part of the last 5 years has said, I'm really considering it. And I will let you know when I know. And you've got a shot with the hottest girl in the school. Then you see like the 58th hottest girl in the school. And she is begging to be your prom date. And you've already made her wait 9 days because you're waiting for the hot girl. Not the 58th hottest girl. The 58th hottest girl would kiss your feet if you asked her to. But the hottest girl in the world is continuing to let you know we're going to wait. And the 58th hottest girl in the world says, I will wait as long as you need me to wait. I will wait until you get told no from the hottest girl. Why the hell would you tell her no and go with the 58th hottest girl? You still got a shot with the hottest one. I don't get it. Like, you've already waited 8 days. Russell Wilson still hasn't signed. You know why Russell Wilson hasn't signed? Because nobody wants him except the Giants. So if Russell Wilson has no market, why are we rushing to sign him when we're still in contention to get with the hottest girl? I don't get it. I don't get it. If someone can give me, Henry, you are out of pocket for that. If someone can give me a logical reason to say, abort mission, I know we waited 8 days and we watched all the good free agents sign while we're waiting for Aaron Rodgers, but today is the day that I no longer can wait, even though the 58th hottest girl at the school is begging and pleading and saying, Marsh, I will wait as long as you want. You can even go on a date with the hottest girl and I'll still be here because I'm desperate and I don't have anybody that wants me except for you. Why on earth would I abort mission on the hot girl when the 58th hottest girl is going to be there even if I get told no by the hottest girl? Does that make sense now? I know we got ladies in the chat. Just flip it the other way. I just don't get it. We already waited this long. Nothing's going to change. We don't play a football game tomorrow. We don't play a football game next week. We don't play a football game next month. Nothing's going to change. Like, yes, we want Aaron Rodgers to sign now. It's my money, and I need it now. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if he signs now, tomorrow, or in 4 months. As long as he is my starting quarterback next year, he could sign the day of the first game. Mission accomplished. And you know what? If Aaron Rodgers takes 3 months, that means Russell Wilson's going to take 3 months because Russell Wilson doesn't have anybody that wants to take him to the dance except the New York Giants. There is no reason to abort mission. You've already waited 8-9 days. Like, why would you cancel now? And this is my thing as well. I say this with all the respect in the world. So many people have reached out to me. Marshall, I cannot wait another day. Marshall, we cannot wait. We cannot do it. No way, no how. Go sign Russell Wilson. Go sign Jameis Winston. Go sign Joe Flacco. I can't do it with Aaron Rodgers. He's selfish. We can't do it. To be honest, I don't give a shit how you feel. You know why? Because the Giants are the only opinion and the only real idea that I give a shit about. And you know what the Giants are ready to do? Sit and wait because they've already done it. Don't you think the Giants would have already gone out and signed Russell Wilson if they were ready to move on from Aaron Rodgers? Don't you think the Giants would have already gone out and signed Joe Flacco if they knew Aaron Rodgers wasn't coming? They've got a shot to bring the hottest girl home to their house from the prom. And they've got the 58th hottest girl in the world willing to wait. So why are we not making them wait? If the Giants were in love with Russell Wilson, they would have signed him on Friday when he came to visit MetLife Stadium. Because Russell got on his knees and said, Joe, I'll love to be your quarterback. I want to be your quarterback, Joe. And you know what Joe said? We'll love to have you be our quarterback too, as long as the hottest girl in the streets tell us no. The Giants want Aaron Rodgers. They are going to do everything they can to get Aaron Rodgers. And once Rodgers tells them no, they're going to pick up the phone, and they're going to call the girl that's been banging their line for 2 months. Russ, is that you? How about you come down to 1925 Giants Drive? We're available now. You know what Russ is going to say? I'll be there in 10 minutes. because he's desperate. He has no market. The visit to the Browns was all a smokescreen. Adam Schefter even said it. There is no reason to abort mission. You're in too deep. You're past the point of no return. The way you get out of this is Aaron Rodgers tells you yes, or Aaron Rodgers tells you no and you move on. The only way the Giants are going to sign another quarterback is if they know that they are out of the route of the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes. You've already waited 10 days. Why on earth would you abort mission now? And to be honest with you, I don't care what everybody, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore, Marsh. I'm getting tired. I can't do it. Russell Wilson's out there, wants to be a Giant. Of course he wants to be a Giant because no other team's giving him a starting role. There are 2 teams that Russell Wilson can start for. The New York Giants if they don't get Aaron Rodgers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers if they don't get Aaron Rodgers. So you know what Russ is going to do? Buckle up, strap in, and say, I will wait for Aaron Rodgers to decide. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I love that analogy.
Like, holy shit, that's all it is.
Loved it. I will ask him, Marsh, do you want to bring up this super chat?
Sure. Edwin, what's up, my man?
Oh, man.
Appreciate the super chat, homie. Says, would you rather the hottest girl who's on the fence or guaranteed from the pink sheet and save that dinner money? I don't know what a lot of that stuff you're saying is in there. What I will say is this. The Giants are on a dry spell. A bad dry spell. But they've got the hottest girl in the world. Hottest available girl. Hottest available girl. Hottest single girl at the school. Saying, you know what? I like you. And I'm going to give you a shot. But I got to make my decision, and it may take a while. But you're definitely in the running. The Giants are in no position to tell the hot girl no. Because they just had to have I don't want to say something I'm going to regret. They had to have Daniel Jones be their girlfriend for the last 6.5 years. And when you do that, you enter desperation mode. Of course the New York Giants are desperate. I just don't get it. They already waited a week and some change. You're going to wake up today and Joe Shane's going to say, F it. We waited too long. Nothing's changed. Aaron continues to let us know we're in the top 2. Come on, guys. Come on. The hottest girl in the school has you in her top 2. You don't tell her to stop contacting you because you got the 58th hottest girl in the world begging to be your girl. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking crazy talk. But the New York Giants, they're also doing it because they could already went out and signed Russ. Could already went out and signed Jameis. They could have already went out and signed Russell Wilson. They could have went out and already signed Joe Flacco. You know what they're doing? They're hoping the hottest girl available calls them because they know the 58th girl will be there regardless. Regardless. Does that make any more sense? I don't know. I'm trying to paint the picture up here for you guys in multiple ways because last week I couldn't get home. I couldn't lock in with y'all. So someone messaged me today. This Rodgers drama is exhausting. I think I'd rather have them just bring in Russ or Winston at this point. So you'd rather bring in the 100th hottest girl in the world when you got a shot with the sexiest girl on the market? I don't know. I don't know. Am I crazy? Am I crazy here?
No, you're not. No, you're not. Because what do you expect? What do you expect the Giants to do if you sign Russell Wilson? Or if you sign Jameis Winston, or you sign Joe Flacco? What's the record going to be for the Giants?
Not good.
Exactly. So what do you have to lose waiting?
Nothing. You lose nothing waiting. Like, what do we think is actually going to happen if the Giants continue to wait, which they are doing and which they will continue to do, because if they wanted to abort mission, they already would have done that. We're 10 days into free agency, guys. We're 10 days. You think that the Giants are going to wake up on the 11th day of Christmas and say, fucking ass, we cannot do this anymore. The season is 6 months away, but we cannot wait another day for the best available quarterback when we don't have a quarterback. When you have a legit shot to go get him. I just don't get it. Are we going to wait till after the draft? However long it takes, baby. However long it takes. Because you know what? If he tells you no, you still need a quarterback. And the quarterback that you want is still going to be available. Now, if Russell Wilson signs somewhere else, I'll tell you I'm wrong. But I am more than confident. And I've been told from multiple people that Russell Wilson's market is 0. And you know how I know what I was told is true? Because it's 10 days into free agency and he hasn't signed. He's taken 2 free agency visits. One with the Browns. The Browns didn't offer him a contract. And the other was with the Giants. And they didn't offer him a contract. I don't understand, after waiting 9 days, you want to abort mission to go get a lesser option when you still have a great chance to get the best option. Like, I'm just trying to process all of your thoughts. Are we just greedy and we want Aaron Rodgers to make a decision so we can get that dopamine boost in knowing who our quarterback is? Because why does it matter if it's today or next week or 2 weeks? Or 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? So you can go tell your friends we got Aaron Rodgers, so you can click on the push notification for us to do the video. Trust me, I want the quarterback too. I want to get it over with. I don't sleep well at night. I know who my quarterback is. If I can wait, you can wait. I don't know. It actually is mind-boggling to me that we've waited 9 days, and it's all of a sudden, nope. Can't do it anymore. Cannot do it anymore. Can't do it anymore. Nope. Can't wait another day. Aaron Rodgers told us on Wednesday of last week that we got a 50-50 shot. It's a coin flip. But nope. Can't wait anymore. Can't wait anymore. I mean, what? I understand if people disagree with me. This isn't disagreeing. This is me trying to understand. There is no football reason to say the Giants need to abort mission right now. There's none. That's not disagreeing. That's just a fact. There is no reason the Giants have to sign a quarterback today. Do you play a football game tomorrow? There is no reason. This is not a disagreement. This is not an argument. These are the facts. You don't have to have a quarterback now, tomorrow, next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You know when I want a quarterback? When mini camp's here. When organized team activities are here. When training camp is here. When preseason is here. What's the rush? What's going to change? If Aaron Rodgers signs today or Aaron Rodgers signs in 2 weeks, nothing matters. Nothing has changed. Aaron Rodgers can't get in the building and start working out as a Giant anyways. There's no practice. He's not missing practice. I would like someone to talk me through why the Giants have to cut the cord on the Aaron Rodgers discussion. It makes no sense. Like, you could say we disagree, and I don't want people to agree with me. Rarely ever. Because if my takes are agreed upon by everybody, it means they're not good enough takes. Because when I said the Giants should have benched Daniel Jones after 2 weeks, everybody told me no, except for Mr. Rick. What happened in 10 weeks later? Everyone wanted him benched. Vasquez says, I have a reason. There is a small number of quality free agents left. If we know our QB, we know how much we have left to spend. If neither quarterback can win a bowl, I'd rather spend money on a good right guard. We already let all the good right guards go, though, Vasquez. That's what I'm trying to say. All the guys that we could have gotten if we had our quarterback earlier are already gone. Will Fries, gone. Like, all the top guys are already gone. The first wave of free agency is done. And, like, what I would say is this. The Giants already, like, committed to this plan. You don't commit to wait Aaron Rodgers out and then say, fuck it, I'm not doing it anymore. That doesn't make any sense. The Giants know Russell Wilson's going to cost money. Aaron Rodgers is going to cost money. Um, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Is like, we can all be honest here. It's a safe space. There's 450 people watching. Is it just because we want to know? And that's a totally acceptable answer. You're just tired of waiting. Like, is that it? You just want to know your quarterback is? That's more than acceptable. It's more than acceptable. But it makes no sense because you don't play tomorrow. You don't play next week. You don't play in a month. Aaron Rodgers signs today. If Aaron Rodgers signs the day before the draft, if Aaron Rodgers signs after the draft, I'm not assuming Aaron Rodgers will be a Giant, buddy. You have become a king at using my words in the wrong way on Twitter. I've seen you do it, and then you retweet your own posts. Have I one time said 100% Aaron Rodgers is signing with the Giants? Has anyone ever heard me say that? No, I didn't. In fact, Alper, I think I said if the Giants don't sign Aaron Rodgers, they're going to get the quarterback that they could have signed last week. That's what I'm saying. The quarterback that they brought in for a visit last week will be the Giants quarterback if they get told no by Aaron Rodgers. I haven't said the Giants are getting Rodgers. I'm saying they're in it. In the fight. A 50-50 coin flip. So, again, you can sign Russell Wilson now and screw your chances of getting Aaron Rodgers. Or, crazy thought, you wait out Aaron Rodgers and you still get to sign Russell Wilson. I like option 2 a lot better. But they both include the same thing. Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. Don't you think if the Giants loved Russell Wilson, they would have offered him a deal? And they would have aborted the mission like all y'all want? And he would already be a Giant, right? Then why isn't he? Because the Giants are not in love with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is not who the Giants want to be their starting quarterback at this moment. At this moment. At one point, they were in love with the idea of Matthew Stafford. Then Matthew Stafford told them no. Now they're in love with the idea of Aaron Rodgers. And until Aaron Rodgers tells them no, they are going to do whatever they can to get Aaron Rodgers. And once they do, hey, yo, Mr. Unlimited. Mr. Unlimited. And he'll sign. Big Jack, or wait out and don't get either. Where did Russell Wilson go? Did he retire? Where is he going? Because the Browns brought him in for a visit, and they didn't offer him a contract. He's met with 2 teams, the Browns and the Giants. We're 8 days into free agency. Is Russell Wilson going to wake up tomorrow and have a robust market? There are 2 teams that want Russell Wilson, and both of them are waiting out Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. I don't know how to say it any other way. Great point, Corinne. Great point. Let's not forget, Aaron Rodgers called the Giants. I just don't, like, another thing. If the Giants thought there was a chance that Russell Wilson would go sign with another team and they knew they had no shot of signing Rodgers, don't you think they would have moved on already? Or do you think when Joe Schoen was looking Russell Wilson in the face and telling him what his plan was, don't you think Russell Wilson probably told him, the New York Giants are the team I want to play for? Like he told them last year. And like he's wanted to be a Giant for the last 5 years. Like he wanted to go to the Giants over the Denver Broncos. If the Giants thought they were losing out on Russell Wilson, would have already signed him. I just don't know. I just don't know. Picho, it's been a week, man. We don't play for 3 months. 6 months. 6 months. We can wait. You can wait. You can wait. I just addressed your question. You're saying, what do you do if Russ unexpectedly signs with another team? Well, didn't you bring in Joe Flacco? Didn't you bring in Jameis? And don't you think the Giants got a good idea of what Russell Wilson wants to do when they had a free agency visit with him for over a day and met with him face to face? Don't you think the Giants told him what their plan is? Don't you think he told the Giants what his plan is? Again, we can move on after this. If the Giants were in love with signing Russell Wilson, if the Giants needed Russell Wilson to be their franchise quarterback, he would have already signed. He would have already signed. Because I know from people I talk to that are very well connected have informed me that if the Giants were to offer Russell Wilson a deal, he would sign it today. That's where we are on that. Marco, what's up? Appreciate the super chat. Says, what if neither QBs are coming? Who's your pick? If neither QBs are coming, meaning Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, I'm very confident one of those two guys are going to be the quarterback. And the only reason Russell Wilson wouldn't be the Giants quarterback is because the Giants don't want him. That's kind of where I'm at on that. Who is my pick? I would probably sign Jameis Winston if I don't get Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers. That's where I'm at on that. What's up, Adam? What does your top 5 draft wish list look like from a position standpoint? For me, it's quarterback, D-tackle, corner, and a big, ugly guard with a bad attitude. It's exactly how I love my offensive linemen. Mine would be quarterback. Yeah, I get that too. People are a little frustrated, but at the end of the day, what are we frustrated for? That Aaron Rodgers is taking his time? Like, we don't play tomorrow. We don't play next week. We don't play next month. There's no rush here. There's no rush. Like, think about it like this. People are mad because Aaron Rodgers is making the Giants wait. But you're mad that Aaron Rodgers hasn't signed. So you're mad that he's making you wait, and then you're mad that he's making, like, come on, we're that's pretty selfish. The Giants wouldn't be doing this if they didn't know what is going on. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know any other way to explain it. And if I can't get it to you guys, I apologize. 5 biggest positions of need, in my opinion, are quarterback, defensive tackle, interior offensive line, offensive playmaker, and an edge rusher. Those are my biggest needs. Quarterback, defensive tackle, interior offensive line, offensive playmaker, and edge rushers. That's where I'm at. Those are my biggest positions of need heading into the draft, Adam. You haven't had any new offensive starters. You averaged 16 points per game last year. You have not improved on the offensive side of the ball except for Malik Neighbors getting better in year 2. That's where I'm at on that. Joshua Flint, $10 super chat. Thank you for the love, my friend. Is there any weapon or line upgrade that Aaron Rodgers might want on the roster to persuade his decision to the Giants? It's a great question. I think maybe going out and telling him we'll bring in Allen Lazard with you could entice him. I think at bringing his buddy Allen Lazard could make some sense. On the offensive line, all the starters are gone except for Tevin Jenkins. And it doesn't seem like he's got a lot of interest across the league as he cannot stay healthy. As the Chargers are signing Andre James. That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. That was someone I wanted the Giants to sign. So maybe another receiver like Allen Lazard. Outside of that, I don't really have any names that stick out to me. If you could have found a way to get Devontae Adams, I bet he would have already signed. Edwin, $5 super chat. What's happening, my man? Thank you for the love. Says Wolf of Wall Street reference before. Aaron Rodgers is less than, or is that greater than? That's less than. Less than Flacco O-line receiver. Aaron goes down, burnt money. Flacco goes down. The rookie gets those investments to help him. So what O-line and receiver are you signing, Edwin? Because they already are all gone. They're all gone. Like, I guess you could go out and get Amari Cooper. I guess you could go out and get Stephon Diggs. I guess you could go out and sign an injury-riddled Tevin Jenkins. But I'll also say this, and we'll talk about this when I get into the Mel Kyper mock draft. If the Giants were in love with Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, and they knew they were falling to 3, do we think they would be this all in on Matt Stafford and Aaron Rodgers? Or do you think that the reason they're all in on Matthew Stafford and all in on Aaron Rodgers is because maybe they don't think the quarterbacks are that good, or maybe they think they won't get a chance to draft one of them? Something to think about. Connor, what's happening, my friend? Appreciate the $5 super chat. What's up, Marsh? Rodgers needs to make up his mind, so if we don't get him, we have money to spend on O-line and somebody like Diggs. Well, there's not really anyone on the offensive line to spend money on. And the Giants, you know what's crazy, Alper? The Giants waited for Aaron Rodgers, and they offered Will Fry $17 million a year. I think they call that 2 birds, 1 stone. So I just want to stress this. Aaron Rodgers is not holding the Giants up for making any moves. In fact, I can guarantee you that. I could guarantee you that not signing Aaron Rodgers or Aaron Rodgers telling the Giants to wait is not holding the Giants up for making moves. Because they offered Will Fries 5 years, $80 million to come play here while they waited on Aaron Rodgers.
That's a lot of money.
But how can they do both? How can you wait on Aaron Rodgers and sign other free agents? Yeah, and Will isn't here. You know why? Because he chose the Minnesota Vikings because they're a better roster. It wasn't because we didn't offer enough money. Maybe if you had Aaron Rodgers, Will Fries might have come. I try to put myself in y'all's shoes. Because it's easy up here to say things when you got a headset on, camera on, lights on, and everyone's watching me. But I really just want to understand the thought process of, I can't wait any longer. I can't do it. That seems selfish. Especially, Alper, when the Giants have already committed to waiting. Like, they've already committed. They're already waiting. I don't know.
I seriously just don't understand what's the problem with waiting. I don't get it. And I'll be honest, I'm not a Giants fan. Surprise. But if I was in your shoes, I'd be like, you take as long as you want because there's no one else out there. There's no one. You want Joe Flacco or Jameis? If you take Joe Flacco or Jameis Winston, I can guarantee you Joe Sheen and Brian Dable are gone at the end of the year. And you're going to be starting this process all over again. You're delaying the inevitable if you sign Jameis Winston or Joe Flacco. You just wait. That's all you have to do. Be patient. Take a breather and wait. Season is in September. Got plenty of time.
You don't play tomorrow. You don't play next week. Now, if your opinion is like Big Brother Thunder, who says, I'm usually with you, Marsh, but I'm not with this Aaron Rodgers. He's a negative person that's going to bring the locker room down. If you think Aaron Rodgers is a bad person, if you think Aaron Rodgers is a bad quarterback, if you think he is whatever it is, that's fine. But if your reason is, I can't wait any longer. I'm tired of waiting on him. I'd tell you to grow up. I would tell you to grow up. Whereas if your reasoning for not wanting Rodgers is because you don't think he's a good fit, you don't think he's good anymore, or you think he's a bad person who lied about his vax status, who is too political and all that, sure, that's okay. But if your reason for moving on is because Aaron Rodgers is taking too long, you got to grow up.
Yeah.
You got to grow up. If the Giants wanted Stephon Diggs, they could sign him right now. I've tried to make this point abundantly clear. The Giants can make any move they want right now. Any move. Because they have zero dead money in 2026, and they have a $20 million dead cap charge for Daniel Jones coming off the books. They could create $40 million in cap space like that by restructuring Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, and Andrew Thomas. The Giants are not being held hostage by their cap space situation. There are multiple ways to create more cap space. There's multiple ways to structure contracts to have the cap hits come down the line. Any move the Giants can make can be made. It's not because they're waiting on Rodgers. Because it makes us look desperate and weak. Do the Steelers look desperate and weak? Because I'd love to be the Steelers. Haven't had less than a 500 record in the last, 15 years?
I think it's been 07. It's been forever.
And they're waiting, right? So are they desperate? Are the Steelers now desperate too? I don't know. Seems like everyone's kind of just like antsy, and I get it. We're all excited. We all want to know who our quarterback is. But I'd rather wait another month if that means I'm going to get Aaron Rodgers than quit right now and have to sign Russell Wilson, who I know will sign with the Giants in a month if they get told no by Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. LTD, beast mode. Louis Tank Dickens, the GOAT, says, what's good, MG? What's happening, LTD? Appreciate you stopping by. Says, I waited 20 years to get out of prison. I can wait for Aaron Rodgers.
Hell yeah.
D Black says, you sound desperate and weak. Thing is, everything I'm saying is literally coming from the New York Giants.
Yes, it's what the Giants are exactly thinking.
So,
because they are desperate.
So if you think I sound desperate and weak, and I'm just telling you what the Giants are doing, then you're saying that the Giants look desperate and weak. And that's fine. You can have that opinion. But I'm just telling you what's happening. Just telling you what happened. Yeah, I mean, if you can't wait for Aaron Rodgers to make a decision, that just sounds like a personal problem to me. Sounds like a personal problem to me.
To be fair, when you're on the hot seat, you're desperate and weak. Yeah. No doubt about it.
Jay says, you genuinely think we're a 500 team with Rodgers? Yeah. I think you can go 8-9 with Aaron Rodgers. I think you could be in every game you play in next year with Aaron Rodgers. I think in January you'll be playing a meaningful football game. and not one that determines who gets the number 1 overall pick.
Not a culture game.
Thunder. Can't pivot until the toy you want is off the shelves. Or you could just pivot because the toy is taking too long. Yeah, O-line's got to stay healthy. Absolutely, Jay. Absolutely agree with you. If Aaron Rodgers, Andrew Thomas, and Malik Neighbors play 17 games next year, I'm pretty confident the Giants can win 8 games. Give me 17 games from Thomas. Give me 17 games from Neighbors. Give me 17 games from Rodgers. That team can win 8 games, if not more. That's my thoughts on that. Appreciate you, Lewis Tank Dickens, as always.
Got 2 more super chats coming in.
Shout out to all y'all. If you haven't yet, please hit that thumbs up icon. 560 people watching, only 241 likes. Please hit that thumbs up icon. Help us get to 300 likes. It's free. It's easy. Hit the thumbs up icon. JMS is nearing my bus threshold. He's walking that line right now, that's for sure. That's why I wanted to go out and get a guy like Andre James, who played well under Carmen Priscilla with the Las Vegas Raiders, to put some pressure on him. John Nitty, chat of the day. Rodgers taking too long was just an excuse from people who never wanted him, and I don't want him. Thank you for saying the truth. Thank you. Thank you. Joe, what's up, bro? Prophecy says we get our next franchise quarterback the same way we got our last. Trade on up. If there's a way the Giants... Yeah, Andre James just signed with the Chargers, Kyle. Doom. If the Giants can get up to the number 1 pick, I think they should do it. Titans aren't passing on Cam Ward from everything I've heard.
I think they've settled in on they want a quarterback.
Yeah. I think that Cam Ward's a franchise quarterback. I mean, the Titans think that as well. I think myself and the Titans also agree that Will Levis is not a franchise quarterback. Therefore, they're going to take one if they have the opportunity to do so. Vasquez says, I think we could trade for the number 2 pick. This is my thing. Okay, and I talked with Seeps about this last night. The only way you trade up to number 2 is if you think another team's trading up to 2, right? Because if the Browns are willing to trade the number 2 overall pick, Alper, that means they're not taking quarterback.
Yep.
So just call their bluff. Call their bluff. Now, if you think a team's trading up like the Raiders from 6 to 2, then you may need to go get 2. I don't think there's any team in the league that wants to trade up to 2.
I couldn't name you a team. Like, if the Browns are taking calls, if they stick with that pick, it's most likely they're just going to go the best talent available.
Agreed. So why am I giving up draft capital to leapfrog them 1 spot when they don't actually have any intention in taking the guy that I want? Again, if another team is trading up and then you got to beat a team to 2, that's for sure. I don't see another team trading up to 2. And I mean, maybe they value building depth over a quarterback of Sanders' caliber. The Browns need players everywhere. No, I get them not taking a quarterback. But what I'm saying is, if the Browns are willing to trade the pick, that means they're not drafting a quarterback. Because if they were drafting a quarterback, they wouldn't be in talks to trade it. I don't know if I'm not making my thoughts articulated in that way. Just like the Titans aren't trading down if they're going to take a quarterback. Teams don't pass on quarterbacks. I don't know. I don't know. Look, again, if you could trade up to 1, do it. I think Cam Ward is a franchise quarterback. I'm not even trying to make it like that, Vasquez. I'm just saying, like, all I do is talk about this stuff at work, at home, on the phone with my parents. All we do is talk Giants. And, like, it's not healthy. But, like, seriously, if the Browns are calling you and saying, Alper, let's do a trade. You guys move up to 2, we'll move down to 3. Your immediate response should be no. Because you're not taking the guy at 2 if you stick and pick because you're offering me that pick. Even grandma. Rich Rob, what's up, Beast? Sign Wilson. I want A-Rod, but this is childish. You can wait a little longer, bro. You can wait a little longer. I get it. We're all antsy. We had to watch 6+ years of Daniel frickin' Jones. We had to watch Daniel Jones for 6 years. That's poison. I know everyone's antsy. I'd rather wait it out and get told no from the hottest girl in the school than bail on the hottest girl in the school and go have to settle for the average looking woman. How long is too long to wait?
August?
Yeah, August. And even then, I mean, that's too long. Once you, as an organization, came to the decision, we want Aaron Rodgers, and we're going to do whatever it takes to sign him. You're laying in the bed you made. You're laying in the bed you made. Mark says, why wait for someone who doesn't want you? How do we know the Giants don't? Aaron Rodgers doesn't want the Giants. How do we know? Has he told the Giants that? Because I'm old enough to remember at the NFL Combine, it was reported that Aaron Rodgers made multiple calls to the Giants to be their quarterback. And I was told the New York Giants were informed on Friday that they are a coin flip decision for Aaron Rodgers.
Coin flip.
C-Wag thinks I'm 50? Sheesh.
Wow. I'd be offended at that one.
Yeah, I know, man. I know.
Well, at least you're not going gray.
Going gray, yeah.
Dark hair at 50 is pretty good.
I hope I look like this when I'm 50. Exactly, Vasquez. If Aaron Rodgers didn't want to be a Giant, the Giants would know that. We all think the Giants are stupid, right? They're not stupid enough to continue to wait on Aaron Rodgers if they've already been told no. Right? If the Giants already knew they were out on Aaron Rodgers, I wanted Joe Shane fired as much as the next guy. He's not that stupid. The Giants are telling you everything by their actions.
Exactly.
It's not me with an opinion up here anymore.
It's kind of transparent at this point.
It's very transparent. What if we take Winston? If the Giants sign Jameis Winston today or tomorrow or before Aaron Rodgers makes a decision, that would signal to me that the New York Giants have been informed that they are not going to sign Aaron Rodgers. But you know why they haven't signed anyone? Because they haven't been informed that. And they believe there is still a chance that they can sign him. Rondo, you are making way too much sense, my friend. Why is it so hard for everyone to comprehend that a man might want to take his time when the decision he is about to make will affect the next couple years of his life forever? You're making way too much sense, my man. You're making way too much sense.
How could you make too much sense?
Why on earth would you do that? Why on earth would you be making sense like that? Where is A-Rod? Where is A-Rod? He was in California, I know, this weekend.
He was at the beach last week.
He was at a beach in Australia last week. He was at a QB camp in California this past weekend. And that's all I know. I know Daniel Jones was there as well. I think Aaron Rodgers talked to Daniel Jones about what it's like to play for the Giants. I'm dead ass serious.
Yeah, I mean, you have to.
Aaron Rodgers and Daniel Jones. Let me see.
I mean, Daniel Jones probably told him, if you play good, this city is yours. But if you play bad, well, he already knows. Aaron Rodgers played in the New York media for a whole 2 years. Well, year. Spotlight's on you when you play in New York, man.
Nationals, FFC, whatever that is, and the RX3 Foundation. I don't know what that is, but my good friend was there, and we had Josh Allen there as well, a lot of other top quarterbacks. Josh Allen, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Aaron Rodgers in California, Marcus Mariota, our good buddy Daniel Jones.
Indiana Jones.
So he was in the States this weekend. Bryce Young was there. Is this Will Levis?
That looks like Will Levis. Shout out Kentucky. The GOAT wasn't there. Disappointing. I know he's retired.
So yeah.
Andy Moe, he's asking, when did he decide to join the Jets? I remember
3 days before the NFL draft.
Yeah, he got traded right before the NFL draft.
3 days before the NFL draft.
It was like Monday. Monday before the NFL draft.
It's like 3 days before the draft.
He said he wanted to be a Jet earlier, but it happened when he got it finalized because he had to agree to the contract with the trade from the Packers to the Jets. And when he finally agreed to that contract, it was 3 days before the 2023 NFL draft. And you want to know why? Because that's when he wanted to do it.
When you decide you want to dance with Aaron Rodgers, you're playing and you're living in his world. That's just the facts. What you don't do is you wait 9 days for Aaron Rodgers, and on the 10th day you wake up and say, I can't do it anymore. That's what you don't do. Kevin Paul, what's up, man? As long as QB is solved by draft day, we are set. I think we'll have a decision by draft day. Wait, what's the rush for Aaron Rodgers? Seriously, what is the rush? Are we all upset? Yes. Do we all want to know who our quarterback is? Yes. Do we all want to have an awesome live stream on this channel, party and celebrate in the days of a new quarterback? Yes. That's where we're at.
Really?
Oh, my God, man. Y'all are funny. NFL draft is like 40 days away, Mr. Rick. 40 days. Rodgers needs the spotlight just like, all right. It's a football channel. If we could keep it football, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. We like to just talk football.
Stick to sports.
Stick to sports and occasionally the analogy about the hot girls at school. Yeah. We got a lot of hope. You got the best young receiver in the NFL. Marsh, go live Tuesday, please. It is Tuesday.
Yeah.
It is Tuesday. You mean next Tuesday? What's next Tuesday? 2 reasons. Every Tuesday? Tell the Knicks to stop playing on Tuesdays. So I can see you next Tuesday. You're an idiot. American Ace. It's your birthday next Tuesday?
Oh, Bronx boy.
What do you do for your 48th birthday? You take your kids bowling. That's what you effing do. Bronx boy last year sent me that video on his birthday.
Bowling is so big in New York. It's gigantic in like New York and Long Island.
49 this Tuesday? You don't look a tick over 24, baby. You don't look a tick over 24.
Apparently you look older than Bronx boy.
Yeah? Good. I'm really his dad. American Ace. What if we, thank you for the $5 super chat, my friend. Says, what if we draft Carter to beef up the D-line like in the Super Bowl days and draft Dart? This could buy Joe time to scout more promising QBs. Hashtag Manning. What I would say is, if your plan is to give Joe Shane more time, why are we wasting a second-round pick on a quarterback? It's kind of my thought process there. Like, if you don't have every intention in the world to give Jackson Dart every opportunity to be your starting quarterback, why are you picking him? If you're only picking him to say you got a quarterback in the draft just to turn around 365 days later to scout more promising prospects and get a quarterback, what's the point of drafting Jackson Dart? Why not just go get a badass defensive tackle at number 2? For the Abdul Carter thing, my thought process is this, because I've thought about this one a lot. I think Abdul Carter is the second best player in this draft. I got Travis Hunter 1, I got Abdul Carter 2. Abdul Carter is a better football player than Kayvon Thibodeau. I'll go on record saying that. If you're going to draft Abdul Carter, which I don't have a problem with, you got to find a way to get something back in return for Kayvon Thibodeau. Because Thibodeau is about to enter year 4, which means you're going to pick up or decline his 5th-year options. All signs point to them picking him up, meaning he would count $16+ million on the cap in year 5. I don't want to be paying my Edge 3 a $16 million cap hit when you're already paying Chauncey Goldston $6 million per year. Now, if you could draft Abdul Carter, trade Kayvon Thibodeau for a 3rd, then I would be interested in it. Or just say F it and draft the best football player on the board in Abdul Carter, and you could do that too. But Kayvon Thibodeau is going to look to get paid. And I don't know if necessarily if he's worthy of a big check. And you can kind of put off paying a defensive end if you draft Carter because you got 5 years of cost-controlled football compared to we're 12 months away from Kayvon Thibodeau contract negotiations starting. And if the Giants aren't in a spot where they're ready to commit or not commit to Thibodeau, you could push that timeline further down the well by drafting Abdul Carter and trading Kayvon. The thing is, I don't know what you're going to get in Kayvon for a trade. Maybe a 3rd? I think that's probably the most you'd get. Rich Rod says you keep all 3 pass rushers, never enough. I get that. That's a philosophy I'm cool to roll with if I'm ready to win a championship. And I also have to factor in that Kayvon Thibodeau, after his 4th season of the NFL, is going to be looking for a contract extension. And I'm personally not willing to give him a big extension based off what he's shown through 3 years. Kind of just my thoughts on that. We did have a little bit of an Aaron Rodgers update today. We did put a video out on the channel. We could roll through some of these updates. Again, I say take every Aaron Rodgers update with a grain of salt. I don't think that necessarily anyone really knows. But this report coming in from Noah Strackbean, who works for SI, Sports Illustrated, and creates content for the Steelers. He put out on his YouTube channel that Rodgers and the Steelers have spoken for the first time in several days. It's unknown what the conversation included or if any progress was made on an answer. But for the first time since what's believed to be last week, there has been contact between Pittsburgh and Aaron Rodgers. Josina Anderson then following that up with a tweet this afternoon saying, worth noting, one league source told me earlier today that the Steelers feel like they are getting closer on their quarterback situation. In their mind, that optimism pertained to Aaron Rodgers. Let's see if that sentiment is mutually held towards the consummation of a deal at some point. One, who the hell talks like that? Two, all hearsay, Joe Blanco. Blanco? I don't know. I can't read. That's why I had to sound out consummation.
But who says consummation? Just say they got towards a deal. That's it.
But she doesn't know it. They got towards a deal. They feel they're getting closer. And in their mind, that optimism pertained to Aaron Rodgers.
Sure.
That's what we got.
Sure.
That's what we got today on Rodgers.
A whole bunch of hearsay.
A whole lot of it. All righty, let's jump in to some videos. We got some videos planned for all y'all. Let's run through these 2 super chats that came in. Then we got 3 segments to run through on today's show. We're going to react to Mel Kyper's mock draft. The New York Giants made a signing, an edge rusher by the name of Victor Dimukeje. I know I am not pronouncing that correctly. So, Victor, I apologize. I'm going to do my best. No guarantee that I can sound it out all that well. Miles, what's up, Beast? Praying for a world where Aaron Rodgers carries us to, what is that?
11?
Lombardi? Maybe Lombardi?
Maybe?
Maybe Lombardi?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Hey, I hope he carries us to a Lombardi too. Yeah.
He says Sam Levitt, QB for Arizona State.
I don't know much about Levitt. I'd probably Levitt him on the board and not draft him. I hope Aaron Rodgers is a Giant. That's all I'll say. Edward Valderrama says, what's going on with Jalen Hyatt? That's a great question. Miles, I will watch film on him. Want to move me above the super chats in GFX3? That way I don't go behind him.
Yes, I gotcha.
I think Jalen Hyatt is probably going to get traded. Like in the actual, yeah, there you go. I think that you probably have to move the one with the cam up above it as well. I think that Jalen Hyatt can be an NFL player. I do. I think someone needs to embrace who he is as a football player. I think he goes to a team like the Chargers and he's able to be a deep threat for Justin Herbert. There's going to be some success there. But Jalen Hyatt at a practice last year told the Giants, use me or trade me. And he caught 8 balls last year. Unless the Giants have a more improved plan and a clearer vision on how to use Jalen Hyatt, I would probably assume that he does not want to be a part of this football team anymore. Bronx Boy says Marsh Pedro has a point. What's up, Pedro? I don't know what Pedro's saying. Forget Rodgers, Marshall? I could never forget Rodgers, baby. I could never forget him. Matthew in the chat just spamming leak. I would like to believe that Jalin Hyatt isn't a terrible football player. And I would like to believe that Jalin Hyatt can be a productive NFL player. To what caliber, I'm not exactly sure. But it's pretty obvious at this point. Yeah, Rich Rod, I think Jalin Hyatt could benefit from playing with a guy like Russell Wilson. But Giants didn't play him last year. I mean, he caught the ball 8 times. I think there's a guy there that could be a impactful player as a part of a receiver room. I don't know. Remember how to say this guy's name. Dimukeje. All right. Let's talk about it. The New York Giants did make a roster move today. We'll break that down, then we'll talk mock draft, and then we'll talk about the reports that the Giants trading for the number 1 pick is potentially dead. If you could, please hit that thumbs up icon. It's free, it's easy, and let's dive into it. Yeah, go ahead. All right, let's do it. Joe Schoen continues to make moves in week 2 of NFL free agency, going out and signing outside linebacker Victor Dimukeje. I apologize if I mispronounced the name. I tried my best. I practiced 1,000 times before the video. Shout out to Victor. Welcome to the New York Football Giants. We have an in-depth breakdown of who he is as a player, and then I also want to talk about Chauncey Goldston in depth because I haven't got an opportunity to do so. This is why you subscribe to the channel, though, because when the Giants make a move, when there's news to talk about, there's rumors to break down, we get you guys a video. We are less than 100 subscribers away from getting to our goal of 69,000 subs. If you love the Giants and you consider yourself a real one, go down right now and hit that sub button. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. The Giants continue to make moves, so let's talk about it. They are signing 25-year-old pass rusher Victor Dimukeje to the New York Football Giants, a 25-year-old edge rusher that is 6'2" and 262 pounds. He was a 6th-round pick in the 2021 NFL Draft out of Duke, and he's played in 55 games with the Arizona Cardinals, factoring in 8 starts as well. He is signing what is believed to be a 1-year deal for the veteran minimum. And I actually think this is a pretty damn smart signing by Joe Schoen. I'll go into depth as to why I think it's a smart signing, but let's start with this. You look at his overall PFF grades for the 2024 season. He ranked 31st out of 211 edge rushers in overall grade. He rated out at a 75.8 as a pass rusher, 25th out of 211 qualified edges in a run defensive grade that's not so pretty, 53.2, 165 out of 211. So you might be saying, Marsh, we got a steal. 31st overall, 25th overall as a pass rusher. It comes in a very limited sample size. And that's why I think it's a smart deal. I love the idea of betting on production in a small sample size, adding more of a workload to that player's plate, and see if that produces more results. Dimukeje's defensive snaps in his NFL career, just 157 in 2024, 385 in 2023, 251 in 2022, and 46 in 2021. This is a guy last year that played in 11 games, 15 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 0 sacks, 10 pressures. In 2023, he played in all 16 games, and that was his best season as a player in this league. 32 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, and 24 pressures. When we talk about players that don't play all that much and we try to paint the picture of who they are as a football player, I think it's important to look at in-depth stats. And here are some advanced analytics that I like to go to when looking at edge rushers. Shout out to Pro Football Focus. Of all the edge rushers that played the same amount of snaps or more than him, this is where he ranked. Pass rush grade, 75.8, 24th best in the NFL. A true pass set rush grade. The difference here, pass rush, that's every time you get it after the quarterback. A true pass set rush grade takes out pass rushing snaps when it's a screen or when it is a ball that is play action. So if it's a play action pass or a screen, those numbers get taken out and you're looking at this. The 10th best, 90 overall, true pass set rush grade. A true pass set PRP, which factors in pressures, QB hits, and things of that nature. He has a 13.0, 21st best in the NFL. His pass rush win percentage, all pass rush snaps, 22.2, 3rd best in the NFL. And his true pass set win percentage, meaning when it's not a screen or it's not a play action, 49.5% of the time. Again, these are numbers that should be looked at with a grain of salt because he hasn't played all that many snaps. But what does this show me? When he plays, he can be productive. He is someone, though, that is going to have to make this roster. He is not coming to this team and being gifted one of the top 53 spots on this roster. He's going to have to earn and fight his way to be one of the 53 players on this team. When we talk about organized team activities in the preseason and training camp and things of that sort. But I like the idea of betting on production even if it was in a limited sample size. Is there a world where Victor, with more opportunities, with more reps, can Dimukeje be a player that ups his overall level of play when more is put on his plate? I'm willing to bet on that for a veteran minimum contract. You now take a look at the entire edge rushing room that the New York Giants have. We know Brian Burns is going to be edge 1. We know Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be edge 2. You added Chauncey Goldston, you're paying him about $6 million per year. Dimukeje right there and Tom and Fox. I still think the New York Giants need another rotational edge on this team. If Victor Dimukeje is your 4th edge, I don't think that's the best spot. Whether that means you take one with a priority pick in the draft, you got 5 picks inside the top 105. You could do that. Another edge rusher needs to be added. More depth there. Because you're an injury or 2 away from this guy being a full-time edge, and I'm not so sure that's the best idea. A smart signing, in my opinion. Bet on upside, bet on production, a limited sample size. Can more come? I want to do a deep dive on Chauncey Goldston and where he stacks up with the New York Football Giants and really just talk about him as a player because we haven't got an opportunity to do so. First, I got to give a major shout out to our proud sponsor, Factor. Use the promo code FactorPodcast and get 50% off your first order. Go to this link, factormeals.com/FactorPodcast. Get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. All of that information will be clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. If you're ready to optimize your nutrition this year, Factor's the place to do it with chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They are dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, which is perfect for any active, busy lifestyle. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals that are tailored to your goals, and you can choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. I'm someone that lives a busy lifestyle covering the Giants and the New York Knicks. That's an around-the-clock job, and I don't get to spend as much time as I would like prepping my meals and thinking about eating the smartest stuff. But when I have Factor in the fridge, they take care of all of that for me. Makes my life a heck of a lot easier. So be like me and optimize your nutrition with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code factorpodcast to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code factorpodcast at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. We hadn't got an opportunity on this channel yet to do a deep dive on Chauncey Goldston. He signed on day one of NFL free agency. We were live for 12 hours, and once we signed off, he signed, and we just missed the window on that one. So let's talk about it. A 3-year, $19 million deal has been inked for him to be a New York Giant. He spent his entire career with the Dallas Cowboys. 27 years old, 6'5", and 268 pounds, was a third-round pick out of Iowa in the 2021 NFL Draft. He was a depth piece and a rotational piece for them, but this year he put on tape that showed, with more opportunities, he can't produce. I also love that he's played in all 34 games over the last 2 years. He is able to stay healthy. Smart, tough, dependable. That's Chauncey Goldston. 56 tackles this year, 5 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, 37 pressures, and 30 stops. He had the 19th most stops in the NFL this year. A stop being a tackle that results in a negative play for the offense. So he makes a lot of plays that are beneficial to the defense. And with the 37 pressures he had, that was the 49th most of any edge rusher in the NFL this past year. And you've seen in other years as well, he's been able to get after the quarterback and be able to be productive in that department. You look at his career Pro Football Focus grades. This year grading out 65.3 overall, 60.7 as a pass rusher, and 56.8 as a run defender. His best year, according to Pro Football Focus, as a pass rusher was in 2023 and 2022. He had the 31st best pass rushing grade amongst edge rushers in 23 and 29th best among all edge rushers in 2022. He's more than just an edge rusher, though. He can line up all over the football field, and I think that's going to benefit him and the Giants in this Shane Bowen defense. He lined up in the A-gap 4 times this year. Lined up in the B-gap 84 times this year. He lined up over the tackle 211 times, and as the edge defender outside the tackle 487 times. So he can line up over the tackle. He can line up outside the tackle. And he can line up in the B-gap as well. He is someone that can get it done from multiple sides of the ball, multiple places along the defensive line on that side of the ball. And it's a chess piece that Andre Patterson and Shane Bowen need to figure out the best way to use him. I could see the Giants on 4th down trotting out a guy like Dexter Lawrence, Chauncey Goldston, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Brian Burns to all put their hand in the ground and get after the quarterback. Tom Downey, my good friend and co-worker here at Chat Sports, hosts the Cowboys Report. He has watched every single snap of Chauncey Goldston play football in his career. I said, Tom, what's the scoop on this guy? He said, he's a quality rotation piece. Sack numbers are a little deceptive this year relative to his actual pass rush impact, but a really good run defender. He can kick inside, but was better playing DN this year, especially on early downs. Tom was very complimentary of him when we continued our conversation, and to be honest with you guys, I love this signing. I love players that play, and he hasn't missed a game in the last 2 years. He's played in 34 games over the last 2 years. That's going to benefit this team, and it's going to benefit him as well. He's gotten better and better every single year, and I think he's a guy with more opportunity, more success will come, and I think a defensive line that features him, Lawrence, Tibbs, and Burns, that's a pretty damn good starting spot. Grade the Giants free agency. Grade the Giants free agency class so far. Essentially, the Giants decided to pay him over Azeez Ojulari. Why is Azeez Ojulari not back? Because he could not stay healthy. Goldston played in all 34 games over the last 2 years. A, B, C, D, or F. Grade the Giants free agency class so far. For me, it would be an I for incomplete, because you still don't have a quarterback. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up, and let's go Big Blue.
I think we had a super chat or two while we were in that cut. Mr. Joey DeLuca, let me pull that up for us right now.
My guy Dax. What's up, Dax? What's up, Beast Mode? Dax, you're a legend, bro. Appreciate you stopping by and showing us some love. Joey DeLuca coming in, getting it started. Shout out to Joey DeLuca, sending in $1 super chat. We appreciate you, Beast Mode.
Yes, sir.
Always here, always showing love, always being a real one. Joey, what's happening, my man? What's happening, Beast?
Time in the Buckeyes giving it an A.
Time in the Buckeye? I think if you walk at it with Aaron Rodgers, it's an A.
It's 100% an A. I mean, you improved the defense tremendously.
It's not the way I would have approached the offseason. I made it clear that I would prioritize offense because I know I'm going to be adding a young quarterback, and I want to create an ecosystem that is conducive to success and have all the talent it needs around him. Giants didn't do that, but I do think they did a good job improving the defense as well. They're looking at it more so of if we improve the defense and we get the ball back and we don't allow long drives and we dominate field position, that's going to help a young quarterback. I just disagree a little bit. I think having the best offensive line possible and the best weapons possible, I don't care if we lose games 48 to 50, 45 next year. If my rookie quarterback has time to throw and he's got playmakers to throw to, I don't care about the wins and losses in year one, to be honest with you. I want long-term growth, but there's obviously multiple ways to skin a cat. Hopefully this way works.
You still need a wide receiver.
Still need a wide receiver. What's up, Asia? Little bulldozer. Is Joe Flacco signed yet? No. I don't know. Maybe Giants should quit on Rodgers and make sure they go get Flacco.
Flacco!
He's got such a big market. Just like Russ. And just like Jameis. J.R. Smith goaded. What's happening, Beast? QB? Me? I can sling it. QB, hopefully it's Aaron Rodgers. Hopefully it's Aaron Rodgers.
How far can you throw now?
I bet I could still throw up probably like 65.
65, damn.
It would hurt like hell.
When I played, I could throw about 45, 50. I was more of an accuracy guy. I wasn't that deep bomb type thrower. But my favorite route to throw, post corner. Always a post corner.
J.R. Smith coded again. You guys are too kind. Even the person that said I look 50 years old. Oh, man. Shout out to Paul. Shout out to J.R. Smith goaded. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate you. Dak says, I'll guard you, Marsh. 6'5", 300. I don't want no smoke.
Woo!
No smoke, no smoke.
No smoke.
I don't
my bro.
I don't want no problems there. I don't want no problems there.
I'd love to catch a pigskin from Marshy.
I was always taught there is approximately 6 ways to skin a cat. That's hilarious.
Oh, man.
Oh, you'll block for me, Dax? I would love that. Give me Dax, 6'5", 300 on the line. I'm sitting in the pocket. I'm surveying the field. I'm finding neighbors everywhere. You going
to just F it neighbors down there somewhere?
F it, neighbors down there somewhere. I give my playmakers a chance to go get it. I move the chain. Says if Rodgers signs elsewhere, how much do the Titans increase their asking price? None, because I don't think the Titans are trading the number 1 overall pick. And we're going to talk about that coming up in a second. Yeah, we'll do we'll go
Got 547 people in the chat right now. If you could, please hit that thumbs up icon. Come on, like the video. It's free. It's easy. We really appreciate it. It's right below your screen right there, the little thumbs up icon. Hit that for us, and I would love it.
65 on 3 bounces. Maybe if this shoulder gets any worse. There's a... You can go find some film out there if you do a deep enough dive. Tom, the guy, says, are we doing a 50-50? We're not doing a 50-50 today. I didn't think anyone wanted to. I don't think anyone wanted to. Well, we're thinking of Dart in round 2. I picked Jackson Dart in my mock draft yesterday in round 2. Sounds like Jackson Dart may not be lasting in round 2. Let's do this Mel Kyper mock draft, and let's dive into it.
Yes, sir.
I added a factor to the last one.
Okay. I see it. Alrighty.
If you haven't yet, please hit that thumbs up icon. Rolly has a cannon.
Does Rolly have a cannon?
Rolly did say he was his intramural flag football quarterback.
So was I in college.
So I don't know. All righty. Let's Marsh, what do you think about Will Johnson, the corner? I think he's a good football player. Battled through some injuries throughout his career. He's got to be more healthy. Got to be more healthy. Yeah, Kevin, we're about to show you 2 mock drafts where he doesn't last. Past pick 21. Mel Kyper and Daniel Jeremiah. Mel Kyper and Daniel Jeremiah, 2 of the best in the building. All right, let's do it. We are less than 40 days away from day 1 of the 2025 NFL Draft being here, and it is officially mock draft season. And Mel Kyper recently released his newest mock draft, and we're going to dive into it on today's video. My question to you is this. If both of the Colorado Buffaloes are on the clock when the Giants are picking, when the Giants are on the clock and both these guys are on the board, who would be your selection? Is it Shedeur? Is it Travis Hunter? Let me know. Yo, what's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's dive into it. We're going to react to Mel Kyper and his newest NFL mock draft, and we're also going to talk about Daniel Jeremiah and his newest NFL mock draft. A lot to talk about. Let's dive into it. Number 1 overall, Mel Kyper. He has Cam Ward going to the Tennessee Titans. And at this point, it almost seems like that pick is written in ink. Abdul Carter, the edge rusher out of Penn State. He ends up going number 2 overall to the Cleveland Browns. Shocking a little bit to me that Kiper did not have a quarterback going to Cleveland, which means there's a QB on the board for the taking. And he has the Giants selecting Shedeur Sanders, the Colorado QB, to be the next signal caller for the New York Football Giants. The 23-year-old quarterback stands at 6'1.5", 212 pounds, out of Dallas, Texas, the son of Deion Sanders. I would love for Shedeur Sanders to be a Giant at number 3 overall. The question is, will he be available? And does maybe signing a guy like Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson change what the Giants are going to do in the draft? Kiper saying this about the pick. Even if the Giants land Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, they need to think about the future under center. Rodgers is 41. Wilson is 36. Neither should be the long-term fix. That's why I still think the Giants could draft Sanders at number 3. And signing one of those veterans, 2 guys who have won Super Bowls, then double-dipping at the position with Sanders, would only help the rookie learn and develop. There would be no pressure to start Sanders right away or be the guy in week 1. And Sanders, New York would get a super accurate passer, 74% completion rate this last year, who is tough as nails. Despite taking the most sacks in the FBS over the past 2 years, at 94 in total. He's also tied for second in touchdown passes, 64 during that time frame. Sanders could provide some QB stability to New York for the first time since Eli Manning. When I first saw this mock draft, my initial thought was, is Shedeur Sanders falling to the number 3 overall pick? I'm not so sure. I think there is a world where they could take him. And Kiper even acknowledged that, saying this about the Browns selection. Drafting a quarterback wouldn't be out of the question either for Cleveland. But the Browns did trade for Kenny Pickett, and it is still in the mix for Russell Wilson. Going with one of those elite 2 prospects in this class just makes more sense right now. I'll say this. If Kenny Pickett is changing your round 1 draft pick plans for a quarterback, you've got a lot of problems inside your front office. I just don't see how trading for Kenny Pickett makes you not want to draft Shedeur Sanders. Because it comes down to this. Whether you have Kenny Pickett or you're not, Andrew Berry, the general manager for the Cleveland Browns, is going to ask himself this question. Is Shedeur Sanders a franchise QB? If the answer is yes, the Browns are going to take him. If the answer is no, the Browns will not take him. Because the Browns don't have a franchise quarterback. And teams without franchise quarterbacks, they don't pass on franchise quarterbacks. So it comes down to does Andrew Berry and the Cleveland Browns believe he is a franchise quarterback? I thought it was interesting that Mel Kyper and Daniel Jeremiah, who both released their mock drafts this week, had the same exact top 4 quarterbacks going. Top 4 picks going, Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Shedeur Sanders, and Travis Hunter. Daniel Jeremiah is saying this about the New York Giants selection he made. If Abdul Carter is available at number 3, that might change things. But in this scenario, they secure their answer at quarterback. Jeremiah writing this about the Browns passing on a quarterback. The Browns could be weighing taking Carter second and a quarterback in round 2 versus picking Shedeur Sanders at number 2 and waiting on an edge rusher until the second round. I think you can make a strong argument that taking Carter and waiting for a second-tier QB in round 2 is the better option. I have reached out to my friend Matthew Peterson, who hosts the Browns Report here at Chat Sports, and he told me this. Local reporters lean quarterback, while national insiders lean non-quarterback. So that's where we're at. Local people think the Browns take a quarterback, while national insiders like Daniel Jeremiah and Mel Kyper think they take a position player. I'll just cut to the chase. If Shedeur Sanders is on the board when the Giants are on the clock selecting number 3 overall, they should pick him. They should run, and they should go celebrate in the green room after you select the quarterback. Because I think he has more than enough skill to be productive in this league. Mel Kyper Jr. on ESPN today was asked, who's your number 1 QB in this class? He said this, I'm going to go Shedeur Sanders. I'm going to be steadfast in that. I've had him as my number 1 QB all along since last year, and I love everything about the kid. I mean, if you say, well, he takes too many sacks, yes, he has to get the ball out and tick faster. But he dealt with NFL conditions. Who had to deal with that? What you're going to deal with in the NFL, which you're going to have to survive in the NFL. He survived hit after hit. How he did it, I don't know. He was 11 of 13 games this year. 11 out of 13 games this year, he had a 70% completion rate or higher. He never completed less than 60% of the passes thrown in a game in 2023 when he was getting pounded, and getting sacked and getting hit time after time. He was at 69% and change with 27 touchdowns, 3 picks, 4 rushing touchdowns. That's 31 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. So to me, when you look at Shedeur, accuracy, slip and slide in the pocket. Yes, he can get you a 3rd and 8. First down with his legs. People say, well, he's going to run a 4.8 40. Patrick Mahomes ran a 4.8 4. He doesn't have an explosive arm, they say, near to Johnny Unitas or Peyton Manning. Okay, we all talk about explosive arms. You know, you don't need to have that. Tom Brady, another one, didn't have the most explosive arm or explosive legs at 52 440. So you can win in the NFL. You can win big in the NFL. Going about your business like Shedeur Sanders does. I'm not saying that Mel Kyper Jr. is right, that he's the best quarterback in the class, because I think that Cam Ward is the best quarterback in the class. But what makes me sleep like a baby at night, what makes me excited about Shedeur Sanders being the Giants quarterback is this. The number one thing I like to evaluate for a college quarterback is How do you perform under pressure? When the pocket is muddy, when there's nowhere to go in the pocket, are you able to reestablish the pocket? How's your pocket feel? Because we all just watched Daniel Jones for 6 years, and he was dog shit in the pocket. And Shedeur Sanders under pressure is better than Cam Ward and Jackson Dart. You see the stats on screen. Completion percentage, higher for Shedeur Sanders against pressure. Touchdown to interception ratio, the best among Cam Ward and Jackson Dart among pressure. And he barely puts the ball in harm's way. 8 big-time throws to 6 turnover-worthy plays against pressure. And he's not just dinking and dunking the ball down the field. Against pressure, Cam Ward threw the ball 12.7 yards down the field. Shedeur Sanders, 11.9. And Jackson Dart said, F it, someone's down there at 17.7 yards per throw under pressure. And if you want to talk adjusted completion percentage, which factors in drops, Shedeur Sanders had a 68.7% completion percentage under pressure, factoring in drops. If I have to live off one stat, one film advice that I've learned watching Shedeur, he can be productive in a bad pocket. And I think that translates the most in the NFL. He's also great when he's blitzed. If you're going to blitz Shedeur Sanders, you better have help on the backside. Completed 68.5% of his passes when blitzed this year. 15 touchdowns, just 3 picks, 11 big-time throws to just 3 turnover-worthy plays. And when he's kept clean in the pocket, when it's on time and it's on target and we're on schedule, completes 81% of his passes for 25 touchdowns. So just 5 picks, 18 big-time throws to 2 turnover-worthy plays. If he has time, he can make throw. When he's blitzed, he'll beat you on the back end. And when he's under pressure, which he was 36% of the time this past year, he can still carve you up and complete 55% of his passes with an adjusted completion percentage, which factors in drops at 68.7. Shedeur has the tools. He has the mental ability and enough talent to be a successful QB in the NFL. I am more than willing to bet on the traits, the skills, the mindset that Shedeur Sanders has. If Brian Daboll can't win games in the NFL with Shedeur, you can't be this coach. I'm not saying he's a slam dunk prospect. I'm not saying he's a generational talent. But he has the tools, mental ability, and enough talent to be a successful quarterback in the NFL. He needs a team around him, like 28 quarterbacks in the NFL do. There's only about 2, 3, or 4 Superman in this league. There's really only one. His name's Patrick Mahomes. And he almost took the Chiefs again with a bad offense and a bad offensive line. Kind of been thinking about this thought here a little bit. Does the interest that the Giants showed in Matthew Stafford and the Giants showed in Aaron Rodgers, does that show what their interest is in the QBs in this class? Because they went all out for Matthew Stafford, willing to offer multiple picks, including pick 34, willing to guarantee $100 million. Does that peel back the curtain a little bit on their thought process of the QBs? Does that maybe make them not love the show that they don't love these QBs? Or does it show them that maybe one of those QBs won't be on the board when they're on the clock? Leaving round 1 without a quarterback is a risky business for Mr. Joseph Shane. If you come out of round 1 without Cam Ward or without Shedeur Sanders, you could be in trouble. Because I don't think Jackson Dart is any longer going to be a round 2 pick. And neither does Mel Kyper Jr., and neither does Daniel Jeremiah. They both put out their most updated mock drafts this week. And Mel Kyper had Jackson Dart going number 9 overall to the Saints. And Daniel Jeremiah had Jackson Dart going number 21 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So for all the people that were like, we don't have to take Shedeur. We don't have to take Cam Ward. Jackson Dart will be there at 34. Maybe he will or maybe he won't. But I would say the 2 most connected people right now that make mock drafts and do this for a living, they don't necessarily believe from what they've heard that he will be there. So my question to you is this. Would you trade back into round 1 for Jackson Dart? Say you missed out on Shedeur. Say it goes Cam Ward and Shedeur 1 and 2. Would you trade back into round 1 to acquire Jackson Dart? Why for yes and for no? As we know, the New York Giants are picking 34th in the NFL draft as well. 2nd overall in round 2. They need to hit a home run with that pick. And there are 5 guys that I love that fell out of Mel Kyper's round 1. Luther Burden. If Luther Burden is on the board when the Giants are on the clock at 34, he's got to be a Giant. Connerly, the offensive tackle out of Oregon, dog. Gray Zabel can play anywhere on the O-line, tackle, guard, or center. Would love to have him. Tyleik Williams, a force of nature at D-tackle. And Darius Alexander out of Toledo, a really good D-tackle. I wanted to show these guys because you can get an impact player at 34. And Joe Shane needs to hit on that pick. That should be a blue-chip prospect. That should be a guy that's competing to be an all-pro and a long-term starter for this football team. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up, and let's go Big Blue. Everyone every year out there, there is no way he falls to round 2. No way Luther Burden falls to pick 34. Well, Daniel Jeremiah and Mel Kyper had him not going in round 1.
Everything always changes as you get into those pro days, as you get in after the combine. Teams look at extra film and they see something, and people drop or people go all the way up. We've seen it time in, time again. And it always happens. It always happens.
I would love Zabel at 34. He could be your starting right guard tomorrow. He can also play center. He can also play tackle. I'd be a big fan if that was the pick at 34. Shout out to Tom the Guy coming in with a $5 super chat. And then Elaine, E-L-A-N. Elin. That makes the most sense.
There you go.
Elin Locklear. What's up, Beast Mode? Thank you for the love. Says, any chance we still go after Diggs or Allen? Keenan Allen? I hope so. I'd love to add Keenan Allen. A big slot receiver that separates and gets open and doesn't have a catch radius this big.
Don't throw shade at my Kentucky man.
I like him. It's got to be perfect pass, though. Give yourself some room for error. I would love to add Keenan Allen. I would say Allen over Diggs at this point, but I would take either of those guys. Giants haven't added one new offensive starter after averaging 16 points per game last year. They think they're a quarterback away, and they're betting their jobs on it. More power to them. Tom the Guy, what's happening, Beast? If Sanders is available at 3, how far do you think he drops? Could the Giants grab Hunter at 3 and trade back up for Sanders? Is that a crazy thought? No, it's not. Saints need a quarterback at 9, though. Maybe they take him there. Steelers are going to need a quarterback in the future. Maybe they take him at 21. Would you trade 34 and a future first to get up to 9 to draft Shador Sanders? And leave the draft with Shedeur and Travis Hunter?
If he's dropping that much, does that give you any concerns? What GMs and other teams think about him?
I don't know. Because you should do your own evaluations in the sense of you shouldn't let other GMs' evaluations, influence you. But we see it all the time. When these guys go on slides, they start to slide. I don't know. I would take him at 3, which means I'm more than comfortable taking him anywhere else.
If he's available, I feel like you have to take him. Too much talent.
I mean, if you walk out of the draft with Shedeur and Travis Hunter, that'd be sick.
Smitty has a NBA watch party tonight, Tiger Metal Stack. So I took in his place because he came in extra late today. But we're holding it down.
All righty. Let's talk about this last segment.
Yes, sir.
Is the trade to the number 1 overall pick dead? Let's talk about it. let's do it. Coming out of the NFL Combine, everyone that covered the National Football League left with the feeling that the New York Giants were going to do whatever it takes to move up to the number 1 overall pick. And now, as we sit less than 40 days away from the NFL Draft, it appears that the dream of trading up to number 1 could be dead. Jordan Runyan of ESPN says this: all indications seem to be, based off free agency, that the number 1 pick will not be available to the New York Football Giants. And that's not really like breaking news to me. If you've been watching this channel for a while, I've been pretty pessimistic is the better word to say, but the New York Giants not being able to get Cam Ward. Because Cam Ward's the quarterback I have wanted since week 0 of college football. And I usually like to get my hopes up so I can hurt myself, but I couldn't do it with this one. And teams don't pass on franchise QBs. And that's what I think Cam Ward is. And I think there's a lot of people around the NFL that also believe that. And when you start to connect the dots, it sure does seem like the Titans are going to take him. They didn't sign a quarterback in free agency. Brandon Allen doesn't stop you from drafting Cam Ward. They could have went out and signed a veteran. They could have went out and gave someone bridge money to be a starter for 1 year. They didn't do so. What did they do? Passed on a quarterback and built up the offensive line. What do you do if you draft a rookie quarterback? You don't draft one that could start, and you build up the offensive line. And the Titans, they are doing that. And now, all the people that had the Giants trading up to the number 1 overall pick no longer have the Giants trading up to the number 1 overall pick. Mel Kyper and Daniel Jeremiah released their most recent mock drafts this week. And Kiper had Cam Ward going number 1 overall to the Titans. And Daniel Jeremiah had Cam Ward going number 1 overall to the Tennessee Titans. Kiper adding this, saying, quote, "We're still not 100% sure what the Titans will do, but it sure seems like the stars are starting to align for Tennessee to draft its next franchise quarterback." Daniel Jeremiah saying this, "It's beginning to look more and more likely that Ward will be the first overall pick, whether it's to the Titans or one of the QB-needy teams." We've been following this story extremely close, and all indications are that Cam Ward's going to go number one overall. Pauly Market Sports saying that Cam Ward has an 81% chance to be the number 1 overall pick. Last week, Pauly Market Sports had the New York Giants and the Tennessee Titans tied for the best odds to make the first pick in the NFL Draft. Not so fast anymore. Pauly Market Sports now has the Tennessee Titans as the runaway favorite to pick number 1 overall. They are giving them a 56% chance to pick number 1, with the Jets having the second best odds at 23.8, and the New York Giants having the third best odds to pick number 1 overall. I've been saying it now for about a week and a half. I think Cam Ward's a Titan. And Mike Borgonzi is going to get his rookie quarterback, as he is the new decision maker for the Tennessee Titans. And that stinks. Because I've been hoping, I've been praying, and I've been wishing that Cam Ward would be our quarterback. And to not even have an opportunity to do so sucks. Can we trade that culture win from the Colts up to number 1? And I know players don't lose on purpose. But I'll never forget what Mike Garafolo said. If Joe Shane and Brian Dable knew their jobs were safe, that game would have been a different outcome. So you could blame John Mara for that, not the players. If the Titans do decide to trade down, which I don't really think is all that likely anymore, I think the Browns and the Giants are great trade partners for them, because they still would be able to select a generational prospect at 2 or 3. And their head of football operations said, we don't want to pass up on the opportunity to select a generational player. And if you go from pick 1 to pick 2, you could still do that. If you go to pick 1 to pick 3, you could still do that. And when we specifically talk about the Giants being a good trade partner with the Titans, I think it makes a lot of sense, because you look at the cupboard of picks that the Titans have, or lack there, when it comes to picks in their cupboard. They don't have premium picks. Yeah, they got pick 1. Yeah, they got pick 35. but they have to wait 70 picks after pick 35 to select again. They have 2 picks inside the top 100. That's not good. Like, you have 2 picks that are considered premium in this draft. And for a team that's trying to rebuild and load up the roster, a cheap way to do that is by adding pick 34, 65, or 99. And the New York Giants, they have 4 picks inside the top 100, 5 picks inside the top 105. So if you're the Titans looking at the Giants, saying to yourself, well, we don't want to trade our way out of selecting Abdul Carter or trade our way out of drafting Travis Hunter. Maybe we do trade with the Giants, and they give us pick 34, pick 65, and maybe a second-round pick next year. So you stay in range to get a Hall of Famer potentially and add a lot of picks at great spots. I don't know, though. Adam Schefter saying this: there is 0 chance that Cam Ward is going to make it to the New York Giants at number 3. I expect that Cam Ward will be the number 1 overall pick in the draft, whether that is the Titans, Browns, or the New York Giants making that pick. And this is all part of the process, right? You begin to evaluate all these guys. Teams do deeper and deeper dives into them. From my perspective, I'm talking to more and more people before the combine, at the combine, and after the combine. The conversations that I have had convince me that Cam Ward will be the number 1 pick, and certainly the first QB off the board. Cam Ward, dream of the Giants, may be dead. It may be dead. And that is doomy and that is gloomy. It stinks. Which also tells me that the doomsday QB scenario for the New York Giants, unfortunately, may be here. And that's not a world I want to live in. And I can promise you, that's a world that Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll don't want to live in. Because they'll be living in it for a year, and then they'll be fired. Jordan not adding this: we're sitting here talking about the Giants starting quarterback for week 1 in 2025. Is it going to be Aaron Rodgers? Is it going to be Russell Wilson? We're saying, oh, they need to get this guy. They need to get that. Are we serious? That's where they're at. And they're on like plan D, right? Because plan A was to get Matthew Stafford this offseason. Plan B appeared to be trying to get the number 1 overall pick, and that appears to be dead too. Plan C looks like it's Aaron Rodgers. That doesn't look like it's happening. I don't agree with that. It looks like they'll likely that he'll end up in Pittsburgh. So now plan D is Russell Wilson. Imagine he goes to Cleveland. You're at plan E. Plan E with Shedeur Sanders or Jackson Dart. Holy cow. This just does not reflect well, again, on Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll. I'll never forget what John Mara said at his Black Monday press conference when he spoke to the media at the Giants facility. He said that he spoke to Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen that Friday, and they presented a plan. What part of the plan are we on? Yeah, we have concepts of plans. What step of the plan are we on? Because I guarantee you they pitched him Matthew Stafford. And they pitched him trading up to number 1. And they pitched him Aaron Rodgers. This is why getting Aaron Rodgers is so big to me. 1, because he's the best available quarterback. And you don't have a quarterback. And if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a shot. And there may not be a world where you get a quarterback in round 1. And you may not even have an opportunity to draft Jackson Dart. I got more thoughts on this in a second. First, though, I got to tell you about our proud sponsor, Factor. When you go to factormeals.com/factorpodcast and you use our promo code FactorPodcast, you're going to get 50% off your first order. So get hooked up today. All that information will be clickable down in the comments and description of this video. If you live a busy lifestyle like I do, you don't always have time to prioritize getting your meals correct, meal prepping, eating healthy. You need to get hooked up with Factor because my life is better and easier and healthier when I've got Factor in the fridge at home. Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared Perfect for any busy lifestyle. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. Eat smart with Factor. Get started today at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code factorpodcast to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's Factor Podcast, code Factor Podcast at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box today. The reason I'm all in on Aaron Rodgers, one, he's the best quarterback and you don't have a quarterback. Two, there is no guarantee that you get Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders in the NFL draft. And if you leave the NFL draft and you don't have Cam, and you don't have Shedeur, and you don't have Rodgers, you're walking the line of getting fired. You're walking the line of getting fired. But Marshall, we could just get Jackson Dart in round 2. There's no reason to worry. We get Jackson Dart in round 2. Is he going to be there? Because Mel Kyper says he's going number 9 overall to the Saints. Daniel Jeremiah says he's going number 21 overall to the Steelers. So that pocket aces that we thought we had in our back pocket, that get out of jail free card at Jackson Dart in round 2, according to the people that do it the best in the world, they say he may not be there in round 2. Getting told no by Matthew Stafford, and then getting told no by Aaron Rodgers, and then not even having a chance to draft Cam Ward, Shador Sanders, or Jackson Dart is the doomsday scenario. And it could be a major disaster. And I've only got one more agenda to push if that happens. Sign Russell Wilson and bring me Jalen Milroe. If you strike out on Stafford, done. If you strike out on Rodgers, and you strike out on Jackson Dart, and you strike out on Cam Ward, and you strike out on Shedeur Sanders, what step on the plan is that? This is all you got left. This is all you got left. This is my final agenda to push if we strike out on all those guys. You get the veteran that hopefully plays a full season and wins you some games, and you draft the quarterback with the highest upside in this class because he's already got an elite trait in this league. That's running the football. And get a quarterback that was a runner that developed into one of the most accurate passers ever. Could he help a young guy like Jalen Milroe reach that type of step? Because if you don't get Milroe, if you don't get Ward, Sanders, or Dart, I don't know. If you want the Giants to find a franchise quarterback, hit that thumbs up icon. Like the video. If you want a franchise quarterback on this team, now hit that thumbs up icon and make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG at @MarshallGreen_ on both platforms. Hit me up and let's go Big Blue.
That's a big doomsday scenario.
Jackson Dart at 3.
Charles Davis agrees.
I don't know about that. Brandon Plays, what's up, homie? What if we get a vet QB this year, pick Carter or Hunter third, then sell the farm next year to get Manning? Well,
is it guaranteed that Manning goes into the draft?
Is it guaranteed he's a good football player? Is it guaranteed that he's a number 1 overall pick? Is it guaranteed he's a pro prospect? Sources have told Chat Sports that he wants to do multiple years at the University of Texas. He wants to start for multiple years. Now you go and win the Heisman, and you win the national championship, and you're guaranteed to be the number 1 overall pick. Maybe that changes things. But we have people at Chat Sports that are very close to the University of Texas and their football program. And they have told me that he wants to do multiple years as the starter. The Manning family wants him to do multiple years as a starter at the University of Texas.
And it's 2025. It's not like you got to leave school to get paid. His last name is Manning. You know how much NIL money he could get if he stays at Texas.
Yeah.
It's not about the money now.
I don't want to poo-poo on people, but can we just wait to watch him play for a full year before we talk about selling the farm for him? I get it, Manning, Eli, I get it. Give me 12 games in the SEC next. Give me 10 games in the SEC next year. Then we can just have a more educated convo about him because we know who he is. And that's all I got to say. We're going to sign off here on the channel. Shout out to y'all. We've been live for 2 hours. I got to bounce on out of here and get to the crib. We love y'all. We appreciate you, even if we disagree on quarterbacks. All we want, I think everyone can agree, all we want is the Giants to be great again. Maybe we think it's different paths, and that's what's awesome about sports. We all want the same thing, to not have our Sundays ruined anymore. Some people think it's this way, some people think it's this way, but we all want to get here. Final goal, drive for number 5. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Let's go Big Blue.